Volkswagen has announced that it has built a prototype racing truck dubbed the Cross Sport R with the intention of competing with it in the 2020 Beja 1000 race. This race is one of the most dangerous in the world. The prototype was developed with input from both View's own rallycross driver, Tanner Fust, and Beja veteran, Rise Millen. Atlas Cross Sport, which you can buy at the dealership. It is offered with both a 2.0-liter turbocharged engine with 238 horsepower and a 3.6-liter V6 engine with 276 horsepower. Four-wheel independent suspension offers 24 inches of wheel travel with Fox bypass and coilover shocks. They are capable of absorbing the strongest impacts the desert has to offer. Unimog is a family of universal German large-capacity, all-terrain trucks for special use and transportation in extreme conditions. The first model was developed in 1945, mass-produced since 1949, and since 1951, production has been absorbed by the Daimler-Benz concern, and all-terrain vehicles are produced under the Mercedes-Benz brand. The first model was developed shortly after the Second World War for use in agriculture. The car was designed with permanent four-wheel drive with wheels of the same size to drive on roads at higher speeds than standard tractors. With good off-road capabilities, Unimogs can be found in jungles, mountains, and deserts. Like military vehicles, fire trucks, command and control vehicles, expeditionary vehicles, and even in truck races and the Dakar Rally. In Western Europe, they are commonly used as snowplows, communal cleaning vehicles for both winter and summer applications. When Prohibition was in effect in the United States, local moonshine was secretly transported on the prototype of this all-terrain vehicle. But since then, the purpose of the ARGO technique has changed somewhat. The new Aurora 956 is an 8-wheel drive amphibious all-terrain vehicle, equipped with a 4-stroke Briggs Stratton Air cooled V engine with a volume of 1 liter and a power of 40 horsepower. The carrying capacity of the all-terrain vehicle is estimated at 433 kilograms on land and 365 on water. To drive, the new Aurora is as fun and comfortable to ride as a UTV, but it has a huge superiority in patency. Toyo Tires Ferret, created on the basis of an armored military reconnaissance vehicle of the 50s, built to showcase the company's open-country tires, and it does a good job of it. The SUV has 6 massive tires mounted on custom wheels, 2 of which are driven by hydraulic motors controlled from the inside. Its modified suspension with King shocks allows the Ferret to travel over rough terrain and obstacles with ease. To increase power, American muscle was added by installing a Chevrolet L's engine in the rear. On top of the Ferret is a custom-made launcher with a grappling hook attached to a winch cable. Triple motorcycle Frank Triumph Speed Triple from Classical Moto. Inspired by Mad Max, the Speed Triple is an unconventional piece of art that proves the speed in its name is there for a reason. A fast, street-friendly street fighter like no other, it is based on the Triumph Speed Triple 1050 motorcycle and is fitted with 11 AT-EV tires. The result is a very large rear wheel, almost inherited from an SUV and rear, mounted with a fully custom-made swing arm. The Frank comes with an underseat exhaust system, a custom-machined visible frame, and a nice fabric fuel tank. The 1050cc 3-cylinder engine on the motorcycle develops 125 horsepower. The amazing Chainlink Extreme all-wheel drive is a real SUV. When it comes to off-road vehicles, people are constantly trying to create the latest, greatest, and most powerful vehicle that can handle any surface. At first glance, a 2,700-kilogram Chainlink off-road machine complete with a steel tube body. It looks straight out of a Transformers movie, but upon closer inspection, you'll see that it's just a heavily modified Jeep. The engine is a fuel-injected Ford 5.0 V8 from a 1993 Cobra Mustang, 4 transmission from an early Bronco. Chainlink Extreme can transform from a 102 inches wheelbase to an 80 inches wheelbase by simply moving the swing arms. All this control allows you to overcome rather rough obstacles, but it also takes years of experience with heavy equipment to feel comfortable with all the levers and knobs in the cab. Torsus Praetorian off-road bus. It seats up to 35 people, has a ground clearance of 40 centimeters and a 7-liter 6-cylinder diesel engine. The geography of deliveries of cars by the company includes countries where the infrastructure is poorly developed. There is a demand for off-road buses from mining companies from Canada and Australia. Large quarries are located at a considerable distance from the place where the workers live, and people need to be transported there. Requests for the bus also came from the USA, Georgia, Bangladesh, New Zealand. In particular, Bangladesh wants to buy 105 off-road buses, including ambulances. This is the only equipment that can transport up to 12 seriously wounded in a lying position in complete off-road conditions. The approximate price for the basic version of the bus is $100,000. All-terrain vehicle Burlack, the best vehicle for snowy deserts. The first Burlack was built in early 2016. In March, it was tested in the subpolar Urals and in the Arctic Ocean. Burlack is really different from everything that travels in the Arctic. He doesn't need roads at all. Wheels above the average human height easily overcome difficult obstacles and, like floats, keep a loaded car on the water. The spacious cabin has berths, a kitchen, and a compartment for things and cargo. The creators saw practical interest in Burlack during testing. On the way back on the winter road near Vorkuta, auto travelers from Latvia met, who liked the all-terrain vehicle so much that they soon bought it for their expeditions. There is a new addition to the Polaris family. RZR XP Turbo S is a powerful, technologically advanced, and, most importantly, safe car. It has the most powerful of Polaris motors. The turbocharged liter unit develops 168 horsepower. With such power, there are no problems with drifts, jumps, and other elements of off-road driving. For safety, the RZR XP Turbo S is equipped with 4-point harnesses that are very gentle on the crew. Machine parts are reinforced to withstand extremely fast off-road driving. One of the most vulnerable nodes, front-wheel drive, has become 3 times stronger. Reinforced axles, levers, and other critical parts. The most important change in the chassis is new wheels. For the first time in this class, tires with a diameter of 32 inches are installed. They help the shock absorbers cushion the impact. Finally, new tires are more puncture-resistant. The RZR XP Turbo S features Dynamics electronic suspension. It automatically changes the stiffness of the shock absorbers depending on the road surface, rolls, etc. The Polaris RZ is priced at $27,000. One of the best heavy-class trucks of the 60s and 70s, Tatra Tate 113 KOLOS. This car was a prime example of the sophisticated engineering of Czech designers. By the end of the 50s, the armies of the Warsaw Bloc began to experience an urgent need for heavy tractors. There were many tanks, and there were few ballast tractors capable of pulling trailers with them. Czechoslovakia was the only country besides the USSR capable of launching the production of heavy trucks. Already in the early 60s, the plant in Koprivnice began the development of a heavy ballast tractor with an 8x8 wheel formula, a load capacity of 20 tons, and capable of pulling trailers weighing up to 100 tons. The power plant is a 12-cylinder, air-cooled diesel engine T930E. Tatra Tate 113 KOLOS was produced from 1965 to 1982. On average, the plant produced 1,000 of these cars per year. LeTourneau TC-497 is the longest wheeled train in history. The LeTourneau TC-497 was built in the USA in the early 1950s. The customer of this car was the U.S. Department of Defense. In the 1950s, the Cold War was in full swing, and the Americans feared that the Soviets could destroy all of the U.S. railroads with a few atomic strikes. Therefore, the American engineers of the LeTourneau Company designed and created a train on wheels that did not require special conditions for transporting cargo. The length of the LeTourneau TC-497 was 173 meters. The carrying capacity was more than 400 tons. The Giant had 54 wheels, each with a diameter of 3.5 meters. The road train consisted of 8 12 trailers. They transported equipment and goods with a total weight of up to 150 tons, while the total mass of the road train itself was about 450 tons. Auger all-terrain vehicle. Auger, the movement of which is carried out by means of an auger propeller. The design of the mover is two Archimedes screws made of a particularly durable material. The all-terrain vehicle has a unique cross-country ability in mud, snow, and ice conditions. It shows itself well as a water mover. However, it is generally unsuitable for driving on asphalt or concrete. Rotor augers of an all-terrain vehicle cause damage to nature. In Russia, the appearance of the auger is attributed to 1900, when the Russian inventor F. Dergent was granted a patent for a sledge driven by an auger. The first auger was invented in 1868 by Jacob Morath. Once upon a time, there was an American company that produced low-pressure wide tires, and now it is called Albee Rolligon. It was founded in the 1950s by a certain Bill Albee. One day he went to work with the Eskimos in the Alaskan coastal areas. It was from them that he spied an unusual solution to so many transport problems. The fact is that the Eskimos hunted various aquatic animals such as seals in boats and stored their prey there. When it was time to move home, they did not unload the heavy boats, but pulled them on dry land, placing inflated seal skins on them. So the all-terrain vehicle from Albee Rolligon moves on very unusual wheels. More precisely, they have unusually low pressure, which allows you to literally ride this car on grown men, brave teenagers, and all sorts of rough terrain, of course. By the way, the car developed a speed of up to 75 km/h. Each of the wheels had a personal drive and a particularly tenacious tread. It was possible to transport up to 7 tons of cargo. It did not burrow in sand and other fine soils due to the size of the wheels and the contact patch. The farmers were generally delighted. The machine did not spoil the ground under it at all, and from this it was extremely useful in their difficult craft. The idea also found application in the Mobile Army of America. Eskimo rollers came in handy on the broken roads of Korea. Muscular Amphibian Viking, 2992 from Aton-Impulse. This serious Russian 7-seater car looks like an apocalyptic grenade. Proof off-road vehicle that happily handles river and lake crossings. It is designed as a rescue vehicle and heavy industry vehicle. Viking develops a speed of about 60 kilometers per hour on the road and about 15 on the water. Its massive shape and low center of gravity give it 42 degrees of lateral tilt before you start worrying about tipping over. The Viking rides on giant balloon-covered tires, and the driver adjusts the tire pressure at any time from the cab. Similarly, the suspension is pneumatically adjustable, giving you 25 centimeters more ground clearance when you need it. It costs $200,000 as standard. In Russia, they also know how to make cross-country vehicles. For example, the St. Petersburg company Sherp plans to start serial production of an all-terrain vehicle of the same name, designed to work in Arctic conditions. The 10-wheeled vehicle will be produced in different configurations depending on its purpose. For geological exploration, cable laying, transportation of employees and other transportees and other transport needs. A distinctive feature of the Sherpa is its two-link design. Moreover, on the rear 6-wheel platform of the all-terrain vehicle, for example, a living compartment or a module for production needs can be installed. The all-terrain vehicle is capable of speeds up to 35 kilometers per hour off-road and up to kilometers per hour in open water. It can also climb with a slope of up to 40 degrees. By the way, Sherp has already successfully passed a test drive of 10,000 kilometers from Arkhangelsk to Anodyar